Here's a question for you. How do we find our true calling in life? Well, to help us with this journey, we are joined by an amazing creator and producer, Lachi. It's wonderful to have you on the program. Your story is truly inspiring. Let's start off with a bit more about your background and, your battle with losing your sight and how you turned it into a positive.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on here. As a recording artist who was born legally blind, I was told, a couple of years ago that I would begin to lose my sight, to go from low vision to no vision. And for a lot of folks, I know that they would think, you know what? Oh my gosh, my career is over, or maybe I have to start from scratch or figure out this whole new life. But for me, I wanted to make sure that I could accept the deepest part of myself that society wanted me to be ashamed of as an artist, practicing authenticity. And I decided to jump all the way head first into being super duper proud of my disability, which, by the way, it is okay to say the word disability. It's fine. The water's fine.
Yeah, the water's fine. Jump on in. So when did you realize music was your true calling? And I guess what are some of the memorable moments from your career you wanted to highlight for us today?
Yeah, well, you know what? Listen, today I am running around doing some amazing things, touring, working with a bunch of folks that I admire. I serve on the Recording Academy Grammys board here in New York. But it wasn't always that way. When I first started, I was signed to a major label imprint called EMI. And I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was marketed as sort of the blind musician.
Right.
And I didn't like it. I didn't like that at all. And so I ended up leaving the music industry and getting a day job for some time. But of course, y'all couldn't keep me away from music. So I did jump back in.
Nice.
And I said to myself, I want to tell my story on my own terms. And so I decided I did want to talk about my disability. I didn't just want to be a musician who happened to be blind. I wanted to be a musician that proudly identified with my blindness. And I wanted to put my advocacy into my art and my art into my advocacy. And that led me on to this trajectory that I'm on now in, really discussing disability culture, identity, and pride at the highest levels of pop culture through music and through discussion.
Absolutely awesome stuff from you, and it's such an incredible story that I'm sure many people are sort of identifying their own experiences with as you explain it, Lachi. I love it. How does being named USA Today's Woman of the Year influence your work? How do you not let it go to your head?
When people look at me and what I do, they see a lot of the fun, the music, the glitz, the glamour. But I am 100% in the trenches. So I run an organization called Recording Artists and Music Professionals with Disabilities. And we do a lot of work advocating not only for music artists with disabilities and neurodivergences and chronic conditions, but also music professionals. And then on top of that, like I said, I am still creating, working, doing the music. We've worked with Apple to App of the Black Eyed Peas. We've worked with Alicia Keys through her organization, She Is the Music. We've worked with Armin van Buuren and all sorts of folks. And so we're creating, we are advocating, and we're getting the message out to as many folks as we can through speaking engagements, through running around to cultural centers and colleges. And if there were 3 Lachis, I'd be able to get a lot more done.
Yeah.
There is only one of me, but I gotta say, I wake up every morning thrilled to do all of this work and be that voice for change when it comes to disability, because not enough people are talking about it.
Lachi, your voice is infectious and your understanding of the space and your journey is so cool, and the energy, I should say as well, is wonderful. Talk to us about your book, I Identify as Blind. What do you hope readers gain from reading it and taking away?
So I Identify as Blind is really sort of a foray into the disability and neurodivergent culture that has been sifting through the mainstream that has been under-celebrated. There are so many folks that have different disabilities, that have different neurodivergences, that have been innovators, that have been change makers, that have been creators from the past and from today. So we highlight a bunch of folks and we put this all into one big story using my story and the stories of pop culture icons and thought leaders. And so what I hope people can gain from this book is the recognition that disability and neurodivergent is an identity that rings true to everyone in some shape or form. Everybody is related to this spectrum in some way, whether it is you yourself and you've been hiding it and you haven't yet brought it out for your own self, or whether it is your mother, a child, a friend, whether it is temporary. Everyone intersects with disabilities and neurodivergences. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You can still be cute. You can still be fabulous. You can still make money. You can be competitive.
Yeah, 100%.
And you can be... Exactly.
Lachi, I want to thank you for joining us on the program. Quickly, if people want to find out more about you, connect with you, where's the best place to go, just to finish?
Yeah, if people want to connect with me, you can find me at Lachi, Lachi Music, so lachimusic.com, or on all sorts of socials. And if you yourself are a music professional with a disability or a neurodivergence, or you're an artist or whatnot, please connect us at rampd.org. We want you to be a part of our community, and we want to partner with you in your efforts to make this world a better, more accepting, and more inclusive place.
Boom, there it is. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Bring in that energy. You love to see it. So thank you so much, Lachi. All the best.
Thank you.
All right, that's the program for the moment. Hopefully you've learned something from my discussion there, feeling a little more energized, a little bit more excited. I know I am. I want to thank you for your time. Be well.
You're watching Ticker. We'll have more in just a few minutes.